Welcome back to the Theology of the Buddy, a podcast for Catholics who love the beauty of the Church's sacred tradition. This is episode 80. My name is Chris, and I'm joined today by my collation-filled co-hosts, Mike, Brooke, and Tim. Before we begin, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening, and please leave us a 5-star review. Also, don't forget to drop by theologyofthebuddy.com for all of our past show notes and episodes. While you're at it, don't forget to follow us on social media so you can keep up to date with all of the great content we're sending out. You can find us at Theology of the Buddy or at Stay Tratty on Twitter. So on today's podcast, we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to start by playing a little game called Breaking Brooke, and then we're going to be getting into answering the questions of our most valued friends on social media. So this episode went a little long, so we're going to end up splitting this episode in two. So episode 80 and 81 are going to be answering the questions of our friends. So if you don't hear your question answered on this episode, don't worry, it's coming. All right, now we're going to throw it over to Tim to explain a little bit about what this game is going to be about.
Okay, so this game is very, very simple. We're going to break Brooke.
It's quite easy.
Yes.
And they recognized him in the breaking of the brook.
The breaking of the brook. Okay, so Brooke, first thing I need you to do is I need you to take your earbuds out. You are not allowed to hear anything except for what Mike says to you.
Okay.
Yes.
We need to clarify for our listeners. We've tested this already, and we verify that she can't hear a thing. We actually threw incredibly insulting comments at her, and she didn't even react. So,
yeah.
And yeah.
Okay, so just to make sure
they even
you
went
can't
after
hear me,
the carbs.
just to make sure that you can't hear me, Brooke, when you make bread, it's really stale. No? Okay.
Your burgers are mediocre.
Mm-hmm. Definitely true.
Anime does not move me emotionally. Oh, no reaction. Okay, so she can't hear us at all.
Yeah, she definitely can't hear you guys.
Nope. I can't hear anything.
Violet Evergarden was only okay.
Now I'm offended.
I think that broke me.
Well, that was next week's game. Okay, so Mike, here's what we're going to be doing. Chris and I have a series of the worst Catholic pickup lines that we could find. And you are going to relay them to Brooke for us.
I need to clarify. I made some of these up. Actually, I made all of these up. So.
Oh, wow. You got more creative than I did. I actually just went on and hit Catholic Twitter and what was it? Epic Q had an article. Yeah.
We're going to find out how
I did the research. He
hard.
crafted his by hand. Okay. So we're going to start off.
The suspense is killing me.
Yes. Now I need you to look deep into her eyes while you do this. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
I don't need a website to know that you are my perfect Catholic match.
I don't need a website to know that you are my perfect Catholic match.
Ugh.
Is
that all you got?
Oh, no.
I think that's all they got.
Yeah, Chris, you got to show them that's not all we got.
Okay. Hey,
She's
girl.
leaning away from me.
Mine are a little bit.
You're off the
after this.
camera because you're trying to escape from these.
We're going to need people to donate to our GoFundMe for their marriage counseling after this.
Yeah.
All right. Mine are a little bit more risque. I do apologize. But what else?
Not accepted.
Okay. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Are you a Pope Francis encyclical?
Are you a Pope Francis encyclical?
Because I'd like to build a culture of encounter with you.
Because I'd like to build a culture of encounter with you.
Why though?
So last night, okay, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry.
Humanism or something, probably.
So last night I was reading the book of Numbers.
So last night, girl, I was reading the book of Numbers.
And I realized I don't have yours.
And I realized I don't have yours.
Hey, Mike, do you even know my number off the top of your head?
I do.
Are you lying?
No. But I don't think I learned it until after we were married.
Wow. So if you remembered my number, maybe you would have called me.
This is how tech reliant I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Here we go.
The worst.
Hey, girl.
Who's in my phone? Hey, girl.
Are you a Marty Hagen song?
Hey.
Are you a Marty Hagen song?
Because I can't get you out of my head.
Because I can't get you out of my head.
Oh, that was the first
so
crack.
many of them.
That's the first crack right there.
You know what? As soon as you said that, I was just like, one bread, one body.
Brooke,
Hey, girl.
I put the stud in Bible study.
I put the stud in Bible study.
It's true.
Yep.
Tim, I realize I have
say-
2 extra.
Oh, you do? Excellent.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say I put the stud in stud finder.
I'm backing off of that one.
These are really bad.
Oh, they're awful.
Hey-
I love it.
Hey, girl, are you the third secret of Fatima?
Hey, girl. Are you the third secret of Fatima?
Because I'd really like to get
Because-
to know the real you.
I'd really like to get to know the real you.
Okay, that was the best. That one's the best so far.
That one's clever.
Yeah,
I
that
like
one's
that.
great.
I like that.
Hey, girl,
I like that.
Hey, girl.
are you in a communical council?
Are you an ecumenical council?
Because it's
Because-
nice seeing you.
It's nice seeing ya.
Peace out. I'm out of here.
Oh, man. That was the one I was looking forward to, too.
This is the most marriage level pickup line that I have so far. Hey, girl,
Hey, girl.
are you a pontifical high mass?
Are you a pontifical high mass?
Because you take forever to get dressed, but I'm here for it.
Because you take forever to get dressed, but I'm here for it. Oh, boy.
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
it takes you longer to get ready than it does for me. And you know what? I'm here for it.
Maybe I'm the pontifical
The
high
reverse.
mass in this relationship.
But would that make me a requiem mass?
Who wears the Kappa Magna in this relationship?
Okay, that's all I got.
That's all you got. Okay, so we're going to finish up here. Hopefully, we're going to finish strong. Hey, girl,
Hey, girl.
the Bible says to guard your heart.
The Bible says to guard your heart.
Honey, you just set off my
Honey.
security alarm.
You just set off my security alarm.
That's great.
I think we broke her.
I love it. That was great.
Special thanks to Catholic Twitter and Epic Q.
Basics.
I was literally driving home from the hospital from visiting my daughter when she was there. And I'm sitting there with a voice recorder, just like letting it go. And I'm just like rhyming off all these stupid things. There was a lot that ended up on the cutting room floor. I'll just say that.
Oh, man.
I mean, you should have just saved that recording and published it as a podcast. What are we even doing here?
Oh,
Wait,
that'd be
what? He wasn't
amazing.
recording?
You should probably put your headphones back
Brooke,
in.
put your earbuds in. Oh man, I used to do that back when I was doing comedy. Yeah, when I was driving from my house up to Atlanta, it was about an hour and a half. Yeah, I just constantly had the voice recorder going.
Yep. That's funny. All right. Well, do you guys want to move to the Ask Me Anything portion?
Let's do it.
Okay.
That was a great game, by the way.
Yeah, that
well
was
done,
great.
Tim. That was
Oh,
fantastic.
thank you. It was fun. I loved every minute of it.
Hey,
We should
do you
do it
know
again
how
sometime.
I know? Do you know how I know that Chris is an optimist?
How?
Because he called us his collation filled co-host and not collation emptied co-host. Is the stomach collation full or collation empty?
So funny.
There you go.
Okay,
Maybe that one
guys.
should have stayed on the cutting room floor.
Quick
It
question.
can still
So,
go there. It can still get cut.
so today is, as we're recording, it's the feast of Saint Joseph, and it's and by the way, Mike, you and Aaron sounded great today at Mass. Well done.
Thanks, dude.
Very good. Very good.
That
Well
was
done.
nerve-wracking.
I bet.
We had to chant that without our usual cantor.
Yeah.
So
You guys did great. You did fantastic. I was very impressed. But it's technically first class feast or double first class. And so did you guys actually let go of the fasting rules today?
we did, yeah.
I feel like I'm going to be judged so harshly. I've grown in devotion to Saint Joseph over the past probably 2 years specifically. So I was just like, nah, I'm celebrating.
Mhm.
He's a good dad. Good
Yeah,
dad.
we definitely celebrated a bit. We got shawarma today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not as good as the shawarma in London, though.
No?
Shelby's.
We went to the Shelby's in St. Thomas. Shelby's in London, so much better.
Wow.
Mm.
Shots fired.
Mhm. Sorry. It's just different. You could tell.
Wow. Well, there goes all our listeners who are St. Thomas Shelby's fans. Keep going, Brooke.
Bye, Julie. Yep.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, so let's get into the Ask Me Anything section. We had a number of people reach out, and I am so grateful. I put out a bit of a urgent plea on our Instagram in particular, and I was like, help, because we only got like one response on Twitter. And
Thank you, fairly certain.
no, there was somebody else too, wasn't there?
No, it was only fairly certain that knocked on our door for that one.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's a great question. It's one that we could probably do a whole episode on.
Okay.
Yeah, a little spicy. I like it.
So fairly certain. And then I thought our friend Anthony Stein also.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Well, that was Instagram, or did you
No,
do
that
it on
yeah, that
Twitter
was
too?
that was not Twitter though. That was
Instagram.
That was Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instagram. Okay.
Okay. So in any case, we want to give a huge shout out to first of all to Anthony Stein, or what's his handle on Instagram? RL Stein?
Pontificator
Just kidding.
Max.
Pontificator Max, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
To fairly certain, our good friends at Sarah Farthing Music. She's amazing. Also, Bill J. Dykstra showed up.
Oh yeah.
Jen Van Awesome.
She really likes Vans.
At Visual Litany, our good friend. Long
She
time.
has some really great artwork up.
Totally
Sure.
not asking ourselves questions.
Yeah, I have the question though. I'm asking the question. It's not directed to me. It's directed to everybody else.
Okay.
So sorry.
B.
See, if I known we were
Carmen.
doing that, omnibus of errors would have been all over this.
B. Carmen K 11 and Lepanto Rosaries. Yeah, so big shout out to those guys. So let's begin, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Bring it on.
All right. So we're gonna try to make this as quick as possible. Tim, do you have your phone there?
I absolutely do.
Can you pull up the question from Fairly Certain? I don't know what it is.
I've got it right here.
Okay.
Does the Latin Mass stand a chance in your diocese?
1 minute on the clock.
Chris, you go first.
In the diocesan context?
I don't know. It seems territorially, so is more the question. But
yeah. Ugh.
Yes, it stands a chance everywhere because it's the Latin Mass. It's not doing particularly well in our diocese, but I mean, there are communities around it that are fighting for it. There's also the dreaded SSPX, and
they're not in our diocese.
Oh, right. Not officially.
Not officially.
They kind of have been doing some masses here and there, but officially they're in the next door diocese.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw down that gauntlet.
I would say, I wouldn't say that the Latin Mass in our diocese is not doing well. It has grown. Chris, you can attest to that.
That's
like
fair.
The numbers have gone up since even we've been there. And I want to say they've gone up by at least 50%, if not more than that, since I've been there. So it is a growing community, but it's not, the diocese isn't advocating for us. I feel like we're not getting a lot of support for people to stay or to have a firmly rooted place in the diocese.
Yeah, it's a battle. I think our community in particular has grown, but we're seeing a pretty harsh traditionalist interpretation locally.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But we stand a chance.
I'm a little bit more pessimistic. But
hey, I thought the collation was half full.
Hold on. I'm a little bit pessimistic, but I know that there is a plan right now in place for a Corpus Christi extravaganza, which will include a bouncy castle potentially, and a large procession. So,
don't you know bouncy castles are Nazi now?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Hashtag freedom
Total.
convoy.
Bouncy.
Total microaggression there.
Yeah, maybe it is. It'll trigger everybody.
Yeah.
So
Triggered.
Anyway, I would say there's a chance with the bouncy castles in place.
Ein Bounshausen.
So you said you were pessimistic, but you just made a great argument for why the community is doing great. Bouncy castles.
Mhm.
I don't hear.
I mean, we don't
any
have bouncy
problems.
castles.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Next.
on the southern side, hold on, I get to answer too.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. You're somewhere else though.
I'm a totally
Go on,
different
go on.
diocese. Okay, so locally to me, we don't like you guys. We don't have the SSPX, but they're kind of on the doorstep, and it's I don't know if they're taking advantage of the situation here, which was not an unwelcome thing at all, but the invitation has been extended. And as far as the bishop goes, I think he's doing the best he can to kind of keep it going, but he's really getting the hammer dropped on him. So we've got a couple of different Latin Mass communities in the diocese. One is over in Mobile, which is over on the Louisiana side. For those who are familiar, it's next door to New Orleans. You could, hit a golf ball from one to the next, essentially. And then you've got the one over in the Montgomery side, which is closer to the Georgia side of the line. And each community can have 2 Latin Masses a month, and they try and alternate it as best they can. But I think he's doing the best he can. He's skirted the not having it in a parish rule by giving us our own chapel. Now, granted, the chapel needs to be completely rebuilt, but, I mean, we've got tools, we can do it. So I think we're going to be treading water for a while. Now, my big hope is that with what's happening on the 25th with all the bishops here, where we dedicate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary and consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, I'm hoping for some conversion of bishops too. So,
yeah, some collateral damage.
Yes, maybe a little bit of grace shrapnel.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. So I neglected as well. I forgot there is a question here from a T Mason 47. So that needs to be.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, I remember. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. What beard oil does Chris use? And can you have a beard care episode? I really don't use beard oil much anymore. And here's the reason. I can't smell it as well anymore because of #COVID 2021. So my favorite scent was it was an apple bourbon scented beard oil, and I can't remember the name of the place that made it, sadly. It's a Canadian place in Cambridge. If I can remember, I'll find out and I'll put the link in the show notes at theologyofthebuddy.com. But yeah, it was really good. It smelled so amazing. Supposedly it was, not everybody's favorite, but Julie liked it. So that's all that matters. And I don't think I would have enough information to really do a full beard care episode. So I hope that answers your question, T Mason 47.
I have a feeling that he's very satisfied by that.
Okay.
Just, reaching out to the internet here and just taking the temperature. I think he's very satisfied with that answer.
Unfortunately, Chris can't teach you how to grow the world's thickest beard over a podcast.
Oh man,
just doesn't work like that.
I've been growing it since I was 11, man. I'm not joking. I wish I was.
Fourth grade, you've got a better beard than the teacher.
I did have a better goatee than most of the staff at my high school. That's for sure. Okay. So the question from our good friend Anthony Stein from Return to Tradition. Amazing podcast. Amazing dude. Shout out to him. We love you. So by Belloc standards, do you live in a little servile state? Is Canada a servile state?
I think short answer, no, but long answer, kind of, little bit.
Getting there.
It's more like the stuff that Belloc warned leads you towards the servile state have continued and are worse now than they were in his time. But I still don't think we meet the definition of being a servile state. You still have at least the economic freedom to choose not to work for someone or, to take your labor where you want to, essentially. So by definition, that makes you not a servile state. Right.
I mean, so I'm still a little bit more on the side of like I maybe not by Belloc standards back then, but I don't think Belloc would have envisioned or did envision kind of the state we're in currently in Canada. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like for Julie and I, right? We both I lost my job as a PSW because I refused the mandate. Julie is looking down the barrel at losing her job as a nurse because of the mandate. We'd love to get a job elsewhere doing the same thing. Do we have that ability? Mm-hmm. Not really in Canada, as far as we can see. There are still places very much that have the mandate in place. Okay, cool. So that's fine. So why don't you just move to the United States? We can't. Why? Because they have a vaccine mandate in order to cross the border. So, and
I've crossed borders before with no permission.
So, but again, like, you know, we don't even have the ability to easily escape it, you know? And if we wanted to be able to travel easily to, say, British Columbia, we're not even allowed to get on a plane or a train to get there without a vaccine mandate, without a vaccine passport. You know, granted, that is being quote unquote lifted. Well, I don't think the transportation one has been lifted yet. Like the plane one certainly hasn't. Just a random anecdote, side note thing. There was a recent article about a group of people from the West Coast that chartered a turboprop airplane, not even a jet, a turboprop airplane that had to make multiple stops along the way to make it, that flew out to the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa. And word got out that there were a couple unvaccinated people on that flight. That airline, charter airline, is now paying for that. So and so are the people that were unvaccinated that flew, right? So, you know, are we in a servile state? I mean, I don't necessarily see it as being, you know, truly free. You know, like I'm not free to be able to do work and do the work that I want to do, you know, and, you know, follow my conscience and things like that. So again, I don't know I wouldn't say it's strictly like we talked about in the podcast by Belloc's original standards. But I don't think Belloc ever would have envisioned what we're in today in Canada in 2022. And, you know, and I think
definitely not. He wouldn't have.
Yeah. So
there are a lot of ways to be unjust that aren't a servile state, though, right? Like, I mean, there are tons of injustices, as you just listed a litany of them going on. But I mean, a servile state is one where you are forced to work for someone else's benefit, not necessarily one where you don't have the freedom to get all the jobs that you are qualified for, or don't have the freedom to travel or things like that. Although those may be unjust and against our Charter of Rights and Freedoms and stuff like that. It's different from being a servile state. I mean,
that's fair.
That's only one example of a way a society can go wrong. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder what Belloc would actually call this.
I think it would be a
Good
completely
question.
different definition. I think it would be a whole new definition. Imagine saying, hey, Belloc, imagine this. A multi-billion-dollar corporation is franchised out for other people to buy. I'm not going to say what one, but you could literally have one within blocks of each other. You pay people minimum wage to work there. And they just pop up everywhere. There's tons of them. And really, really rich people own all of them. Imagine just telling him you can buy a burger from one company at one place and buy this exact same burger at another location like 2 miles away. That would not exist.
was McDonald's around back then? When did McDonald's start?
1950s.
Yeah.
This could be literally any burger chain, though.
It's not that far off. Okay, it's like 20 years after the Servile State.
No. When did he write Servile State?
1920s. 30s. Okay.
Was it
Around
1930s? I thought
It was
way back.
between the world wars.
Okay. I thought it was before
So it's definitely
that.
after 1918
I would believe you. You're smarter than
and
me.
before 39.
Anyway, so I guess what I'm saying
1912.
is I don't think Belloc would be in favor of what we're seeing today in Canada. And I think he would have a very strong opinion about it.
Not a
but
servile state, but
yeah.
you guys definitely took a hard turn from the world's happiest liberal democracy. I mean,
yeah,
It's true.
it's like a light switch got flipped and it's just like, bam. all of a
Remember
sudden.
growing up, like there were all these people saying like Canada's the best place to live in the
Oh,
world
yeah.
and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
That was
There
kind
were
of a thing
actually-
in the 90s and early 2000s.
There was, when I was in 8th grade home economics, there was actually a video that we watched about how great Toronto was. And I mean, I was like, yeah, that looks really cool, you know, and I would love to live in that city. That's
Yikes.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Do you want scabies?
You don't want to.
well, I don't want to live in any city right now, honestly, but yeah.
So
Oh.
expensive.
Yeah. Our mutual friend, who I won't name, owns a home in Toronto, and it's a decent like century home, and I think it's like 3 bedrooms, nicely done on the inside. It would go for $1.4 million.
Oh yeah,
Like
probably more than that actually. If it's is it a detached house?
When'd you last ask him?
Yeah,
like
Because
like
prices
within
have
the last
doubled in the past year.
yeah within the last year, it was actually a
Boy.
couple months ago. He looked at houses in his neighborhood and it came up $1.4 million. And I mean, you're literally like you're rubbing butt cheeks with an. Okay, that shouldn't say that. You are
That might want to get edited out.
Wow.
You are so
Canada
close.
has taken a hard turn from that happiest liberal democracy.
Okay, this question's from Father James Martin. What's your favorite thing about Toronto, Chris?
He's gonna. Can he breathe? Is he okay? I don't think he can breathe.
Rubbing butt cheeks. Chris. I'm gonna put it on his shirt.
Don't.
I'm living my best life right now.
Just think how much work you guys put into trying to break Brooke, and all you had to do.
All you have to do is let Chris talk for a minute.
Chris, don't edit a second of this out.
Okay, I won't. Anyway,
If you edit this out, you have to save it for like a VIB blooper reel or something.
no, Tim has asked for me to leave it in. I think it's fair. That's anyway. So you're like there's literally no spaces between the houses in Toronto. It's
He
just
still hasn't learned his lesson.
That is-
But literally.
That is another way to say it.
there's figuratively no spaces between the houses. Gosh, Mike, you're such a stickler. This has been going on for like almost 20 years, Mike. You've been correcting me on this. Like
Literally 20 years.
2002.
All right. Anyway, don't move to Toronto.
People will
No
literally rub butt cheeks.
Hey, I mean, that may be a selling point for some.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
They're amazingly friendly here.
wear a mask though. Be sure you wear a mask.
I'm going to get an ugly letter from the mayor of Toronto.
Anyway. Wow. Okay. So
That actually sounds like real COVID advice. That's the funniest.
yeah, wear a mask, but
Oh,
you can
boy.
rub butt cheeks. Yeah. It sounds like something like Doug Ford or Christine Elliott or whatever would say.
No, there was literally instructions to be like, when you're going out having casual sex with random people, you should wear a mask during. That came from like provincial health units.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look, Tim is just like,
Like, huh?
yeah.
I'm sorry. I grew up sciencing.
Yeah.
Canada is a super happy place, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you know our politicians follow the science?
It's the Disney World of Western democracies. I know.
No, it's not.
Used to be.
Yeah. Now it's just the Tower of Terror.
Oh my goodness. That's
Okay.
such a great ride.
Okay, thank you for the question, Anthony Stein. I'm sure that's what you were looking for.
I better see some butt cheek tweets coming out of him.
Oh boy.
Oh, gee.
He's gonna unfollow us.
Well, this might actually get a response video from him.
No, you never know. Okay. So the next question.
You were warned.
So we have a number of them.
Sponsored by Catholic stickers.
We have a number of questions from Sarah Farthing Music. She asks, so we'll kind of rapid fire some of these.
Yep.
Do you guys celebrate your saint days in your house in addition to birthdays? If so, how?
I like to.
Yes.
And yeah, if I can, I'll make a nice meal because St. Joan of Arc is my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So
We've been kind of hit and miss on remembering it, but we intend to.
at the
We're
very
kind of
least,
trying to establish it as a tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the very least, raise a glass. More than anything, really trying to celebrate our baptism days, like with the kids and stuff too. So
Yeah.
you got to write that down on the calendar.
For sure.
What about you guys?
Well, my confirmation saint was actually the saint for my birthday, so it's very, very easy to remember. St. Maximilian Kolbe.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know. I came in late to the party, so I got to choose all the new saints. Yeah.
That's August. I know it. August 15th.
I'm
14th.
not 15th.
14th.
14th. There you go.
Yes, I knew it.
Oh,
Yeah.
his birthday's August 15th.
I know.
Mhm.
We wish each other
Just
happy
the
birthday
assumption.
this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my assumption. Never mind. Sorry.
It wasn't your
I'm
assumption.
so
Tim.
close. But since I became Catholic, it's the assumption I'm working under. Oh, that bombed so hard.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that makes bad jokes in this group now.
Leave the jokes to the bears, Ebenezer.
So, in answer to the question as well, I'm the same way. It's one of those things where we try to. But yeah, if I could make a recommendation, there's an awesome book called The Catholic All Year Compendium. I can't remember the lady who wrote it.
Kendra Tierney.
Yes, she's awesome.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, great book. Gives some really cool practical ideas of how to best enter into Saints' days and Catholic feast days. And then there's
another good one too.
What's the other one?
Catholic All Year Long by Maria von Trapp.
Yes, Julie has that one too.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Awesome. Okay. All right, this one goes to Brooke, and maybe I can answer this one kind of by proxy for Julie. She asks, how to do Lent while nursing and pregnant. We Byzantines normally do no meat or dairy all Lent. And when the wife can't do that, does the husband still do it? Makes meal planning and prep way harder when different family members are doing different things. Curious what you guys think.
Okay. Unpopular opinion, maybe. I don't know. But when I was pregnant and nursing, I was like super merciful on myself because I had a really hard time eating. So anything I could eat, I had to just go for it. But denying yourself other things like Netflix or forcing yourself to listen to, I don't know, audiobooks or something that are spiritual beneficial versus, spending time on YouTube. Or I think I gave up YouTube 1 year. But those things are kind of easy. But in terms of like food and fasting from food, I didn't really do that when I was pregnant or nursing because anything I could keep down was great. And when you're nursing, you're trying to feed somebody else. So that was kind of important. But you can do other things. It's not just about, you don't have to worry these days anyway, about just about food fasts or food abstinence. Be gracious to yourself and gentle. Be gentle with yourself, especially now, I would say. But this is me.
I know when I've been pregnant that I just ate everything. So
what have you done for fasting when Julie was pregnant?
Honestly, I still did it. Like that really didn't impact things. But like, yeah, like we would end up eating, like we kind of did like I would do like the midnight to 3 fast, and then I would eat what she was eating at dinner. So yeah. But we did try to do like the Monday, Wednesday, Friday meatless and things like that.
That's doable. Yeah.
It's pretty easy if you're doing like the pre-55 Latin fast, where you're just doing like collations and stuff, where as the husband, you just take your tiny portion of food and shut up about it when it's collation time, and just cook normally other than that.
Yeah.
Byzantine would be so hard. I think that they eat essentially flax, and that's about it.
Byzantines?
Yeah. They Byzantines go so hard for Lent. I love them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, they like no dairy, nothing like that. Yeah.
Yep. No dairy, no meat, no butter, seasoning. There's yeah.
God bless them. So shout out to you guys. You are amazing. Yes. Okay. Next question.
Byzantines, pray for my heathen soul.
Okay. Another rapid fire question. What are y'all reading for Lent?
Story of a Soul by St. Therese of Lisieux.
Solid.
What am I doing for? I don't have a specific spiritual reading. I've been listening to the Bible in a year. I'm reading right now the Treatise on Mental Prayer by St. Peter of something Spanish.
Of Alcantara.
Can't remember.
Oh, Alcantara.
Yes. Yeah. That wasn't specifically for Lent. It's just what I'm reading right now.
Very Franciscan of you.
Yes.
Technically kind of Carmelite too, but.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he buddied up to some Carmelites. Okay. I am doing the Imitation of Christ.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's there's a really good translation that the Daughters of St. Paul put out. It's a different translation than like the ones you'll commonly get at whatever Protestant bookstore sells Imitation of Christ. But yeah, solid. And that one, it took a little bit for me to kind of adjust to it, because I'm used to books that are just you sit down and you read. I'm going to knock out 2 chapters of this, 3 chapters of this. And it's like, no, this is more of a Lectio Divina kind of book.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
That took a little bit of adjusting there. But yeah.
I actually, random side note, you bring up Protestant bookstores. I purchased years and years and years ago a Protestant Imitation of Christ just because it looked cool. And I opened up and I realized that they had removed entire chapters from it. There's like the entire chapters on the Blessed Sacrament were ripped out. Like,
wow.
Yeah, they're okay with removing books and chapters. And
yeah, they're not.
I'm not salty about that at all.
Yeah. So for me, Divine Intimacy by Father Gabriel of St. Mary Magdalene. That's my daily. And To Quell the Terror. I can't remember the author's name, but it's about the Carmelite sisters, Carmelite martyrs of Compiègne. So, or Compiègne, I guess. Yeah. So that's the goal. Anyway.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good list.
I read a book on them not too long ago. It was The Song of the Scaffold, I think it was called. Solid. Love that book.
Yep. Yeah, one of the random side note too, one of the world's top scholars on the Carmelite martyrs was a teacher at Western University in London.
What?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and he was
Interesting.
Orthodox. He wasn't even Roman Catholic. Yeah. He just recently died a few years ago. Had no idea. Picked up the book, which was published by the Institute of Carmelite Studies. Opened it up, and I'm like, London, Ontario? What? Like, we should have had this guy come and speak at the Carmelite parish, but never did. Anyway, so there you go. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of today's podcast. What are your thoughts on today's episode? Do you have any questions for us? We'd love to hear from you guys. Message us on Facebook or DM on Instagram at Theology of the Buddy. Find us on Twitter at Stay Tratty, or email us at theologyofthebuddy@gmail.com. Also, would you please consider subscribing to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, YouTube, TuneIn, or wherever you listen to great podcasts. Also, please consider rating and reviewing us on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. All right, so make sure you're subscribed so you can hear when we are coming back to answer your questions in the next 2 weeks. We'll save you all a seat at the table. And until then, stay tratty.